Tipton.
Gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the Bureau of Land Management manages 245 million acres, or nearly 10% of the total area of the United States, and a whopping 700 million acres of mineral estate. Nearly all of this acreage is in our western states, which make it imperative that the agency extensively cooperate with those state and local governments during the planning process. It is true that the BLM's new planning rule, Planning 2.0, included revisions to several aspects of the planning process, some of which seem to make some good sense. Unfortunately, the new rule also introduced a significant measure of confusion regarding how planning areas would be determined, and most distressingly, diminished the historic and valued role that state and local governments play throughout the process. In many of the counties in my district, it is not uncommon for the public lands to make up well over half of the total area. For these communities, having an equal seat at the planning table isn't merely a luxury. It's an essential ingredient to ensuring that our way of life is proudly maintained over many generations and is not extinguished. Because of this, the BLM is required by law to consult and to coordinate with state and local governments and maintain consistency across their management plans and policies. Yet the agency's new planning rule envisioned weakening that partnership in several regards. For one, the agency intends to dismiss consistency requirements with anything other than the officially approved and adopted plans. This is not the only place an undue burden on rural communities who likely do not have the resources available to draft and maintain comprehensive plans exists, but significantly lessens the importance of an array of other policies and agreements that are germane to the planning process. The importance of a state governor's review of a federal management plan is also reduced, as it appears to limit input only to the identification of inconsistencies with state and local plans, but precludes formal input and observations regarding other aspects of the plan. Americans the nation over treasure our public lands and thoroughly enjoy our ability to be able to access them. But it cannot be denied that many of our communities, decisions made by federal land management agencies like the BLM have amplified the impact. No planning process revision should weaken the voices of our communities, as Planning 2.0 would do. For those reasons, I urge my colleagues to support this resolution. I applaud the efforts of my colleague out of Wyoming for her efforts on this and urge passage of this resolution.